Harry's Wife, part 104.28. Bullshit Bingo. Hello, I'm HG Tudor. Now, we are all familiar, are we not, with the beige word salad that comes spewing out of the mouth of Harry's wife. She does this because she believes that she's cleverer than she actually is. Grandiosity. She has, in her own deluded mind, fashioned the idea, or perhaps I should say fashioned the idea, that she is some kind of spiritual moral guardian that has been sent from the highest planes of all moral authority to teach the world to be a better place. That perhaps if we all enjoy a Coke and teach the world to sing, that so long as it's sugar-free and we brush our teeth afterwards, that everybody preserves their dentistry and, as a consequence of that, makes the world a better place. That she ensures that there is adequate paid parental leave, that women and girls around the planet are empowered, but bugger all to the blokes. That people respect one another, that they are #BeKind, that people develop a greater understanding of one another, and thus we all march forward together, creating a much better earth as a consequence of the involvement of Harry's wife. The environment is saved. Racial prejudice is dissipated overnight. Inequality between the sexes evaporates. People can be who they want to be, and find a better version of themselves and live their own authentic truths. She spills out this bilge on a regular basis through arsey wipes, but also in other interviews, where afterwards you're left thinking, well, I saw her mouth moving, and I heard sounds, and I saw some rather strange facial expressions which didn't quite match up with what was going on, but nevertheless she did deliver a speech. But I'm buggered if I can actually understand what really she was talking about. There were certain buzzwords that flew around. I heard those because I've heard them before. But ultimately, I am at a loss as to actually understand what she was actually saying to me. You're not alone. The contents of her speeches are just beige marshmallow. Wah, 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 wah. Indeed, if you were to stick your fingers in your ears and sing your own country's national anthem under your breath, you wouldn't miss anything, and your life would be neither better nor worse for not having listened to Harry's wife. She believes that what she says is important, of the moment, and is insightful. There's no doubt that she writes her own speeches. You can see her hand, so to speak, in the words that are issued forth. Those that are tasked with advising her must be regularly hospitalized with eye-roll injuries. She thinks that people really enjoy listening to what she has to say, whereas anybody with a double-digit IQ recognizes this is nonsense. It's lightweight, fluffy, vapid bollocks. Of course, there will always be a small group that will lap it up. Those who have a vested interest, namely, they've got to stand there and clap and smile because they're on her payroll. And, of course, the thickos, the deluded sugars who could listen to her just going wah, 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 and would publicise it all over social media as one of the best speeches that they've ever heard. But for the majority, those who understand the English language, those who understand the difference between archetype and stereotype, those who understand the difference between visceral and guttural, those who understand the difference between conscious and conscience, well, you all recognise that this is utter dross. And of course, when it's delivered in that pseudo-sexy, breathy voice, it makes it all the more unpalatable to listen to. Invariably, if she's not spouting fridge magnet platitudes, she's talking about herself, resurrecting one of the many, many dull anecdotes revolving around how she brought Procter & Gamble to their knees to ensure they changed an advertisement, that she crawled out of the back of a vehicle. Well, I'm sure that's happened a number of occasions, but not in the manner by which she was describing. that she talks about Gloria Steinem's birthday, and Gloria Steinem's birthday, and Gloria Steinem's birthday. Not actually talking about Gloria Steinem or her birthday, but how she was taken around the room and how she was supported and how she was feeling vulnerable, but everybody was jolly decent to her. So we don't know if Gloria Steinem had a chocolate cake or a Victoria sponge. We don't know how many candles were on the cake. We don't know if they played pin the tail on the donkey or pass the parcel. None of those interesting pieces of information are provided to us. The real tea, I believe the youngsters call it these days, about what was going on. Instead, it's all about her. And therefore, if we were to put up a pie chart of Harry's wife's recollections, stroke speeches, stroke podcast, we would basically have a large section of it coloured beige, and then another section of it which would be coloured me, i.e. Harry's wife. Because that's all that her speeches are about. That's all her podcraps are about. That's all about her magazine interviews are. Beige, meaningless platitudes as being a bananatarian and pseudo-politician, and then talking about herself. The proportions invariably vary, but what does not vary is the bullshit. And that brings us, rather neatly, to the question of bullshit bingo. And what I'm proposing to do is that I'm going to do a live stream in the not-too-distant future where we're all going to get together and have a jolly lovely time. What we're going to do is we're going to have a live game of bingo. Now, in accordance with YouTube's rules and regulations, you can join this for diddly squat. There's no fee. I may well look at organising some kind of prize for the winner or winners. That it complies with all local regulations in relation to the production of a bingo game, and that in the circumstances it's all above board and legit. The point is that we're going to orchestrate some form by which you can access a bingo card, and it'll have the typical arrangement of lines and the full house. And once we've worked out a way to do this appropriately, you'll be able to secure your own personal bingo card. How exciting is that? And then, at the appropriate time, settle down, eyes in, and eyes down rather, for Bullshit Bingo, Harry's wife's version. Yes, you'll be able to play live, listening to the chocolatey, velvety, stentorian tones of your glorious narrator here as I read out a specially prepared publication utilising Harry's wife's own words. And when some of those pieces of bullshit that she repeatedly announces are detected, you can then circle it, put a line through it, or if you've got one of those splodger things, you can use that as well. And then, at the appropriate time, you can call out, bullshit, and see if you're a winner. Now, in order to prepare for this, we of course need the relevant bullshit words. I've made a short list of a few of them, but why don't you? Because this, of course, is a joint collaboration between you, my valuable viewers, and me, the Ultra. So in the comments section, I'd like you to give your heads a scratch, put on your thinking noggins, and detail to me, what are those bullshit words that she uses? Or short phrases, you can have those as well, that will be included on the bullshit bingo card. Sit down, perhaps wrap a cold towel around your head so that it doesn't overheat as you apply your mind to extracting those relevant phrases and words that Harry's wife uses with frequency, regularity, and invariably, they don't actually mean anything. Here are the ones that I've detected so far that are used frequently by her. Authentic. Lens. Any use of the word arch or arc. Journey. My truth. Organic. My husband. Me, my, or I. Lived experience. Space. Procter & Gamble. Nuanced. Inspirational. Conversation. Guttural reaction. and then her fake laugh. There are others, but I've just thrown a sprinkling in there to get you started. Juice up the comment section with them, and watch this space for a further announcement of the livestream Bullshit Bingo. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.